Hey there, welcome back to yet another episode of the ImpleBooks Podcast. So, when I was building habit, habit was something I did not used to see it like a task or something because once I was in college, right after the end of the college, I thought that I should make changes to my life. That's when I started reading about habits, how to build habits. So I thought, okay, let's make a habit of waking up early and read book, then eat a great breakfast. So I made all of this like different kind of routines, and these things I was trying to make it a habit of my life. So I was experimenting with a lot of different things, and I saw I saw a pattern emerges there is that every time there is a little bit of distraction, I used to get distracted from the habit itself. I used to curse myself. I used to curse the people who distracted me away, right? So I was just blaming all the way, giving these external circumstances to the failure of these habits. So now the question comes that how we should approach habit, right? If those habits were easier for me, like suppose I'm building a habit of doing push-ups every day. So if that habit was like one push-up every day, so there was no chance that I would be blaming people because I got distracted for some reason, right? Because one push up, all we need to, complete the habit for the day. But my habits were not like that. My habits were like full packed habits. So I used to wake up at a certain amount, a certain time, and then I used to make breakfast. The breakfast needs to be correct and all the things elements needs to be there, right? Then I used to read books for 30 minutes. So the habit was like, the habit that I was building was really, really packed, and it was tough, right? And also I was trying to make simultaneous habit pull together to the morning ritual, right? So how do you actually approach habits? So if you read multiple books on habit building, be it the atomic habits, the compound atomic habits, the compound effect by Darren Hardy. So if you read all these books, a lot, they directly or indirectly actually tell you to do the small thing possible to complete a habit, right? Suppose you want to build a habit of giving push up. So instead of giving like 50 push ups in a day and get yourself exhausted and don't do it for like 1 month, do one push-ups every day. So if you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, you will know that he also talks about like you need to increment your habit by 1% every day, so you become like 37 times better by the end of the year, right? Suppose you are giving only one push-ups every day, but by the end of the year, if you increment it by 1%, you give 37 push-ups very easily at the end of the year. But trust me guys, this thing is boring, right? Because when you are building it, you are giving only one push-ups, and it may increase to like only 10 or 5 to 10 push-ups at 3 months, and you are doing it for like 2-3 months, 5 to 10 push-ups, then this thing is boring. Easy things gets boring. So I heard about this amazing podcast by Dr. Huberman Lev. I will put the link of this podcast in the show notes. So what he talks about is that when we are building something, when we are learning something, or when we are doing something new, we need to set the difficulty to around 15 to 20% of that. Otherwise this thing gets boring and there is no challenge, right? Suppose you are building a habit of giving push-ups, so make yourself do 5 to 10 push-ups every day. So that is not too much exhausting for you. So make sure that obviously you can't really calculate whether it is a 15% challenging or not, 15% challenging or not, because when he talks about 15 to 20% challenging, that he does mean that there is a chance that when you are doing it, 15% chance that you will fail, right? So there is a probability of failing, and that makes any task challenging. So try to put challenges in your task, whenever you are building habits as well. Suppose you are trying to build a habit of reading. So instead of reading only one page or maybe one line, the small habits that you're targeting, give yourself 2 to 3 pages to read every day. So there is a chance that 15 to 20% chance that you will fail in this habit. So there is a little bit challenge as well, right? So So how do you approach it? So there is this way called like easier way, and there is this thing called like where there is a little bit of challenge, right? Because easier way, someone, so for some people it is maybe attractive for a short amount of time, because you need to read only one page, you need to read, give only one push up. That is super duper easy to do tasks, right? But if it gets boring at some point and you are gonna quit it, so otherwise, so you need to think about it in a better sense, right? So in which way you do it? So you need to basically ask this question to yourself: what kind of person you are? Are you someone who love challenges, right? So if someone who love a little bit of challenge along the way in your life, in every thing that you do, I think you should take the 15 to 20% challenges route. This way, you are going to get some little bit of challenges along the way when you're building this habit, right? Otherwise, you should go for this 1% increment every day and choose a small habit there, right? So I think that's going to be a really nice, track for you. But this is not a linear way of thinking, right? So some people may love easy things but also love a little bit of challenge along the way. So you need to set the bar correctly. You need to constantly ask yourself while building this habit. So I would say you start small, and when you see that things get boring, you just increment it a little bit, right? Instead of 1%, you just increment 10 to 15% and see if there is a little bit challenge added to your life or not. Suppose you have started with 5 push-ups and you see that it is getting boring because it is very simpler for you, increment it by 50% to 10 push-ups, right? So, and see that if it is a little bit challenging for you, if it is too much challenging, cut it down to like 7, right? And you need to constantly experiment with that. And I'm sure if this way your habits will be little bit fun to actually build, other than getting too much boring or monotonous to do stuff, right? So yeah, that's it for today's podcast. So I hope you like this. So if you did like, please give it a 5 stars and subscribe to the podcast, and it is very motivational for me to keep making these things, right? So if you have any query or message, please do reach out to me at ImpleBooks on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And that's it for today. Have a good day.